Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at United Health. It is time for another update, and today we will be discussing the possibility of having a bottom formed locally here within this correction, as well as the extension that could occur here within this area in this wave B. But before we get there, I would like to go quickly through the larger time frame for any of you who might be new. And here we are basically tracking this series of 2 setups that have occurred over the time, and then this would be the third wave up, and we are now tracking the fourth wave correction, for which we have the area of support between the $260.5 all the way down to the $96.5 level. Now I want to be explicit here this time because I have seen some confusion in the comments in the previous video. We don't need to get to the 50% retracement. We don't need to get to the $65 level for this correction in the wave 4. That is just how deep the area of support extends. This is a bullish chart, and it does have the potential to have even already bottomed, since we did reach the area of support here and we did start a small reversal. This is not my preferred interpretation, however, since we have been tracking this idea of a 5-wave move down and an extension lower for many months already. And as long as we hold here below the resistance levels that at the $342 level all the way up to the $510 at the 78.6% retracement, we are actually still looking with high preference for another low within this wave 4. If in the Elliott wave theory we get a 5-wave move to the downside as we have here, it suggests to us, it indicates to us a high risk, a high probability of getting a 3-wave correction and then an extension to the downside in an additional 5-wave move. An ABC structure in a zigzag is what we are tracking in the case of this chart. Sometimes, some other times, it may be a 1, 2, 3 that may be occurring, but we are in the wave 4 correction. That is what we are tracking, and in that case we are watching for an ABC pattern to complete this wave 4. Now, in this case, since we may already have a wave B top, we could even be looking for an ideal target for the wave C. Now, this is assuming we have topped in the wave B, because if we extend higher, we would need to also extend the area, the extensions, we would need to adjust them, But right now, it would be at the 100% extension of the wave A, which is around the $140 level. That is the ideal target for the wave C, meaning we don't need to get there and we don't need to stop there. It is just a level that it is generally drawn towards. Now, in this wave C correction, we do want to see a 5-wave structure to have a clear pattern that it may be complete. The wave C is always a 5-wave move, whether it is to the upside or to the downside. And once we have that, we have the possibility of considering a completion. And since in this wave B, we have necessarily extended too much, we have only gotten here to the 50% retracement in a fairly quick manner. I don't even expect specifically to get to the 100% extension. It is possible, but realistically we may get to the 61.8% extension around the $205 level. We may get to the 78.6% extension. Anywhere in this area is still perfectly fine to have a full pattern within this correction in this wave 4 in green. Now, as I was saying, in this wave B, we may still witness an extension. I do have the possibility of tracking a full count within this correction. I could easily consider this an ABC structure, which does have enough waves to be complete and to have formed a top within the wave B. But I actually have a way of tracking this as a leading diagonal within a wave A, which is specifically what we are looking here in the yellow interpretation. And in that case, I am looking for support for the wave B. We are tracking an ABC structure, and I'm looking for support in the wave B at the levels between the $316.7 all the way down to the $260 level at the 78.6% retracement, where it is basically the reversed structure of what we are tracking here on the larger time frame. Now, this structure on the larger time frame does have a lot more room and a lot more reliability to be tracked, but this structure to the downside, or this structure in the yellow scenario, does also have its fair chance at getting an extension here within this wave B. Now, I'm not saying we cannot even extend directly into a 1, 2, 3. That could already be the 5th wave to the upside. It is just unlikely as long as we hold here below the 78.6% retracement, and we need to be focusing on the downside, on the extension here lower within the wave C. Now, within this correction, within this yellow scenario, this is the area of focus as long as we hold here above the $260 level. We are looking at the possible completion within this pattern, where basically we had a 5-wave move down, which we have been tracking initially. Yeah, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4th, and the 5th that we were tracking, and then we were looking for resistance for the wave B correction. We have pushed into the resistance area, we had fulfilled a 3-wave pattern to the upside, and then we reversed and continued lower. In the previous video, we were tracking the possibility of an extension in this area. We were even above the 78.6% retracement, where as long as we held that, we still had a decent shot at getting an extension within this wave B in yellow. But clearly that didn't work out. We broke below the support area in blue and fell completely down, where we even possibly completed this wave C to the downside in yellow. Now, in this structure down, I am tracking at this point, I have the possibility of tracking a 5-wave move, which means that this wave C could potentially be complete, and it would be something like a 1, 2, or yeah, the wave 1 here, the wave 2 up here. The third wave would have an extension, where yeah, I was attempting to track an impulse within this area, but it doesn't seem too applicable at this point. But I do have the possibility of tracking a full 5-wave move to the downside, meaning that this wave C could be complete. And if we look, we can already tell that within this wave C, we haven't necessarily extended too much. We have only gotten perfectly to the 61.8% extension of the wave A, but as I was saying, this is not a deep retracement within the wave B. It was fairly quick, and we didn't necessarily get a very strong wave C afterwards, which is not uncommon. And that is actually suggesting that, yeah, this wave C could already be done. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a 5-wave move down, and it does have the risk, especially from the white scenario perspective, of forming into a double 1, 2, 1, 2 setup in this area, where we need to actually break above the resistance levels that we will provide in this video for a signal that yeah, this structure to the downside is done. Even if the entire correction here in the wave B in yellow is not complete, we want to see that we don't form here a double 1, 2, 1, 2, where then a third wave, a very, very strong third wave to the downside could form. We want to ideally see another wave C to the upside and reset this wave B in white. But before we get there, again, we need to break the area of resistance, and for this scenario, well, I could be tracking even an internal 1, 2 here, where yeah, even this wave C could extend, but if we get a very strong third wave down, well, it might be the actual wave C unfolding within an impulse, which yeah, could extend considerably lower. But for a signal that this is not the case, well, we need to break here above the $334.5 level, where the resistance actually starts at the 38.2% retracement at the $318.8 level. And so far, we only have 3 waves up, and we have pushed into the 50% retracement where we got rejected. Yeah, even here at the 38.2% retracement, we got rejected initially. So this does seem to prove to be a relevant resistance area that we need to watch out for. And if I am to consider maybe something like an ABC unfolding within this area, well, I would like to see still an additional high where I could argue that this is a 1, 2, 3rd, 4th, and the 5th unfolding in a wave C. Now, once we actually get this movement complete, this pattern complete to the upside in an ABC, I do need to warn you that there is a significant risk that this entire structure may break down directly into the large wave C, the large time frame perspective to the downside. Yeah, this could be unfolding, although even in the yellow scenario, we do have the possibility for extensions. We will need to be patient. We don't necessarily know which pattern is unfolding at this point, but we are watching the relevant resistance areas for this to play out. Now, internally, we could be witnessing a WXY here as well in this wave 2 in white. Yeah, could be a wave 2 in white, could be a wave 2 in yellow, as I was saying. In which case, we don't necessarily need to hold any areas of support. We actually have a pattern complete in that case. But if we are to form a wave C, well, I am looking at support between the $320 all the way down to the $315.7, where, yeah, as I was saying, I'm looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4th, and the 5th to complete this wave C. But again, it is not necessary. However, what we want to see, what we ideally want to see for a breakout to the upside, is a break above again, the $334.5, where if we manage to break above the beginning of this movement down, the $343 level, well, that would be an invalidation of this, the possibility of a 1-2 setup forming in this area, and we may be already on our way in the wave C to the upside, where again, this ABC structure could be easily a completion of the wave B. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.